Well, I really feel that we are people who are living now, who are doing this work. I feel like we're all here to start healing. Like, I don't think we can, I just don't see the patriarchy or that kind of hierarchical, oppressive way of relating to other humans can go on. I just don't think, like, we'll end up killing each other, you know,
Yeah,
all
I
of us.
feel like the healing has to start even with kids. I realized like once I had kids, all of those things that I just pushed down got opened
Mhm,
up,
mhm,
and especially when I had my daughter, she was the first one. So as soon as I had my daughter, all of those things from childhood just opened up and like flashes of trauma would flash in and like I'm like,
mhm,
oh my God, and then all the fears that you had as a kid being imprisoned at home is how I felt it. I was in prison at home. My sexuality was taken away from me without my choice
yeah,
at a young age. So I was completely brainwashed as a child to not even know what's right and wrong and
mhm,
fathers and mothers and all of it. So it was like hugely impactful to try to heal those wounds, but I had no idea where to go and who to go. And I've gone to see some therapists here and there throughout my life when I would get in those crisis modes, but I was never able to find one that I was able to connect with, who would
mhm,
understand where I was coming from. And a lot of them would just be like, well, how do you feel? Well, how do you think I feel about it? Like, I hate, like, that would be the worst thing for me when I see a therapist or a psychologist to say, how do you feel about it? Well,
mhm,
obviously, hugely, I'm angry, sad, all those feelings, but that doesn't help me unpack it. And I finally
mhm,
found one last year that connected to me in like more of a spiritual level and like unpacked it and would tell me like all the other things that I needed to hear besides just this like one singular issue
mhm.
and problem and feeling. It was like a more of a expansiveness of it, which was so much more
Yeah.
profound.
I believe it too. Well, I mean, if anybody follows what's happening in psychiatric industry field and medical field as well, there is a lot of that, you know, where medical doctors realize that they really weren't properly prepared to treat a human
No, not at
because,
all.
you know, the body was disconnected and they were dealing with symptoms rather than,
Mhm,
you know, the
mhm,
root causes.
mhm.
In the same way, you know, mental health practitioners um, weren't, you know, taught about how it's all feeding each other, the mind, body, and then of course the spirit that wasn't really, you
Yes,
know, sort of taken away. You either had the organized religion or
yeah.
the nothing, you know.
Mhm.
So I feel that there's really a big sort of movement toward holistic healing, and that's a
Yeah.
lot of what I have, you know, what I found in my own journey and what I offer others is that mind, body, and spirit connection. Absolutely, one cannot exist without the other.
No,
Just
yeah, exactly. And that's funny because like my teacher, he had found one recording of him teaching at the Stony Brook University, and he was teaching teachers of how he was a teacher and his curriculum or his guideline paperwork of how he did it, and I realized the connection there naturally of what I'm doing and what he was teaching them, where like he would tell stories. And when he
mhm,
would tell a personal story about, Betty Lou that he was with, or his wife, he calls Nurse Ratchet sometimes. So he would give them these names, and so every time he would tell a story, he would realize that the students would lean in and be like, oh, personal story. I want to get this. And so it was beautiful to find that synchronicity and relate to be like, wow, that's what I'm doing naturally because I'm trying to find the answers. So when I do these podcasts, I'll have my index cards, but I'm asking questions also that I want the answers to as well. So then as they're telling stories, I tell the stories, and it's giving me this like therapy as well to try to heal some of those like wounds and generational trauma that I've accumulated all through the years also.
mhm, mhm.
It-
Yeah.
yeah, it's beautiful.